Welcome back to our quick tutorial on Google AI Studio. If you missed the first one, please check out the playlist. If you're watching the entire video, well, welcome back. So let's take a talk about the long context window. So the context window means how many tokens can this model work with. Now, if you don't know what a token is, it's about 4 bits of information. That could be a character, a letter, number, space, or it could be an exclamation point, some kind of punctuation mark, whatever it is, 4 of those. But every word is about a token, token and a half. Now, if you didn't know, Google AI Studio, as of right now, in the beginning of 2026, can handle about 2 million tokens. So what does that mean? Well, that means you can upload entire sets of textbooks, a year-long course syllabi, an hour-long lecture video into a single prompt, and that'll enable the AI to answer questions or summarize themes across a massive amount of specific information. Now, when we're talking about handling a lot of data, there's a lot of great use cases for education. Let's take a look at a couple. First thing is, again, I am going to interact with this. I'm going to go into the playground. So we're at the home right now. This is nice, but playground's where I want to play. All right, so I'm going to go up here to the model selection. Now, if you don't remember this from the previous one, you can take a look at all the different models here. I'm going to try this out in the Google Gemini 3 Pro preview. And once again, this is normally a paid plan, but you can get a bunch of tokens for free until, of course, you run out. You have to wait till the next day to try it again. Now, once I go to the correct model, I'm going to go down here to the plus button, and it's going to give me the option to upload YouTube video. So I found a great URL. This is a lecture on probability and counting from Harvard University. So let's check this one out here. And you can set the start time and end time, but I'm just going to do the entire thing. So this is an hour-long lecture, and let's upload it. Now, prompting, of course, is very, very important. This is an hour-long lecture on probability and counting at the level of Harvard University. So you want to make sure that when you generate prompts for this, you remember a couple of different things. You want to be able to craft a prompt. Now, what does CRAFT mean? Well, CRAFT is a great acronym to help you become your own little prompt engineer. CRAFT means context. So you had to provide what's happening. For example, in this situation, you could be a 10th grade student writing a persuasive essay about climate change solutions. You need to give it a role. Who should the AI be? Act as a debate coach who helps students sound confident and logical. Action, what should it be doing? Such as help me write a strong opening paragraph that grabs attention. The format, how should it look? It's on the output end, so there should be a 1-paragraph formal tone, including a rhetorical question. And T, target, who's it for? I need to make sure it's for my teacher, my classmates. I want them to feel inspired to act. So as you're drafting your prompts, make sure you follow the C, the R, the A, the F, and the T, because that will provide a lot of the information for the chatbot, in this case, Google AI Studio, to give you the best possible outcome. All right, let's take a look at the craft prompt that we're going to use for this task. This is a video on statistics. You're a Harvard student and you need to take notes on this lecture. You will create a detailed set of notes organized by key themes and points. Do not miss any important points. Explain any math in a step-by-step format, include timestamps for the video as needed. This will be shared with my classmates to make sure it is legible and tidy. Let's run this. Now again, I'm going to fast forward. So sit back and relax and we'll see what this generates. So let's take a look at what it generated. So it tells you the course, Statistics 110, Introduction to Probability, tells you the lecture number, the professor, and it talks about the main themes, administrative and homework strategy, the times for the themes, breaks down the math. Scrolling down, breaks down the next theme here, gives you key definitions, step-by-step breakdowns of the equations, counting principles, examples, Full House and Poker, sampling table. Now, obviously, without watching the video, I can't say if this was the best possible breakdown of notes. This would be for you to experiment with, check out, see if it does a good job within your content area. And when you're providing accommodations for students, giving them a separate set of lecture notes along with any video would be fantastic when it comes to making accommodations and scaffolding for your learners. This is just one trick that you can do using Google AI Studio. But what else can it do? Let's take a look. So I'm going to go up here to the plus button, and I'm going to do a new chat here. It'll refresh its memory here. Starts out with a ground thing. We're still in Gemini 3 Pro preview. This one I'm going to call the Data Set Detective. All right. So what this is you're going to be taking in a lot of information. One thing the AI does a lot better than the average human is it can take huge data sets, large amounts of information, and look at it in ways that it would take us forever, or maybe not even possible to do here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to upload a data set here. And the data set that we're going to load in here is on the most popular movies. Now, If we take a look at this data set separately, you can see how overwhelming that this is. Now, this is obviously taken off the internet, and I'm going to share a link with you guys where you can find all kinds of great data set information. But this is based upon reviews, overviews of the movie, information's in here. I mean, this is just a laundry list of information when it comes to movies. Now, for me to understand every single nuance of all of these movies, the release dates, the times, organizational codes, this is a crazy amount of data I would not be able to interpret. But with the help of AI, I'll be able to. So now that that is created, I can go through here is what is the top rated movie of all time? And because I'm providing data, it only trains on the data that I provided. And again, if you expand on the model's thoughts, you can start looking at the data information and what it does here. And top movies from the list with the voting average of 8.714, Shawshank Redemption, then The Godfather, Godfather Part 2, Schindler's List. These would be based upon whatever data set I put in there here. Now, if I want to look deeper into this, why was that ranked that way? And you can see here it gives its rationale because not necessarily the most popular, not necessarily the highest vote counts, but once again, top rated refers strictly to the average of the raters using scores. So it's really using the specifics of my search terms to give you the correct answer for that. But what else could I use this for besides just movie rankings here? Well, imagine you're a teacher who's got a lot of student data. Now, caution, do not ever input any student identifiable information into any AI. That means no names, no student ID numbers. That is a big no-no when it comes to protecting children's privacy. These are trained by Google AI. You are sharing their information there. But you can use things like student A, student B, student C, and or if you have student numbers in your roll book, you can do it that way to keep it hidden from the AI platform. Now, being a teacher, you can figure out things like uploading classroom attendance or grade level data to find out correlations. Obviously, you want to, you know, anonymize it for privacy. You can see data trends. You can look at growth and show actual data that you wouldn't be able to do easily with just raw numbers. Before we move on, as promised, I wanted to share a website where you can find a lot of free and easy to use data sets. This website is called Kaggle.com. And if you look here, there's a whole bunch of free to use data sets on a variety of topics. Go over here to data sets, click on this tab here, scroll down, you'll see things like crypto, people sharing their emotions with tweets. You can do some LLM fine tuning, Netflix TV shows, sports. If you're a health teacher, a lot of good health information here, software, food, all kinds of fun stuff that you want to use exploring publicly available data sets that you can easily upload to your Google AI Studio account. So, once again, there's a great resource of free CSV files, which have a whole bunch of data sets that you can train on to help students understand big data and how to use it using the AI tools. Now, back to our presentation. Another idea here is to become a curriculum auditor. Now let's see how we can do that. So once again, if I was a curriculum auditor, let's say I was in charge of doing some curriculum, I'm going to go back into the model with a new prompt, and I'm going to upload some information here. So I'm going to upload some files here. Imagine I had an entire school's curriculum from K to 12. And this is when I'm taking a sample technology curriculum. I'm uploading all of that information. And now I can take a look at a couple things here. So my prompt I'm going to use is what are the common themes being repeated too often? What state standards are missing from the collected curriculum? That's a good one to look at. And very similar to Google's Notebook LM, this will allow you to look at many different themes from the sample. And I'll let this cook for a little bit. I'll come back and take a look at what I made. So using this to analyze an entire K to 12, there's some things that are repeated a little too often based upon the evidence. It'll cite exactly when it was overdone. It will talk about missing state standards based upon this being from New Jersey, based upon a 2014 New Jersey Common Core. Here are the things that are being that are missing that we would need to add. Now, personally, if I were to read through all of that, all 12 different grade levels worth of curriculum, I think my eyes would spin in my head. But this can do it within seconds. All right, for our next party trick, we're going to try to become an expert studier. So imagine I was given a whole bunch of different textbooks and let's say 8th grade science. So let's upload some information here. Upload files. Jump in a bunch of just straight content from science, 8th grade. And I want to know, if I was an expert studier, what are the most important themes shared in all of these textbooks? Now, as a student, if you were able to put in a digital copy of all of your resource materials, your class notes, your textbooks, and your own lecture notes in there and be able to look at them and interact with them in real time, how would that be able to change your understanding of the content? So you can still have students take the actual lecture notes themselves, so they get the physical interaction of working with the materials, but then you're able to take that information, digitize it, and then interact with it in real time. So let's let the model cook here, and then I'll come back when it's all loaded. All right, so let's take a look. Now, what I threw at it was 8 different sources ranging from 22,000 to 66,000 tokens, which is a lot of content just to look at. And with under 2 minutes, what I generated here, and based upon the very textbooks, cover general science, physical science, earth, life science, all eighth grade resources. What it threw at me is here were the specific content differentiations. So they talked about nature of scientific inquiry, the particle model of matter, interactions, energy matters, systems and cycles, human impact, technology and stewardship. These are just some of the themes. Now, I can interact and ask any question about any of the content, and it could break it down step by step. It could break down how I should be studying it or how I should be understanding certain concepts. Once you uploaded your own content, you can interact it in so many different ways, and it's only limited as to your imagination. Now, you can also change the Lexile score for reading comprehension for your students, making it more accessible for all. It's really, really powerful once you've used this large and long context window that Google AI Studio uses. Now, these are just some of the possibilities here. As you go back and interact with this model, you'll come up with your own ideas. I tried to give you some teacher friendly examples. So hopefully you enjoyed this quick tutorial on long context window. Once again, up to 2 million tokens currently for Google's AI Studio. Try it out. I'll see you back here for part 3.